There are two questions that most people would ask you when you first met. What is your name and where do you come from? The first one can be answered by everyone. I'm Sophia. But I always struggle with the second question. I was born in southern China, but moved to Shanghai in first grade. If we're only comparing the years of living, then I am a Shanghainese. But I don't have the courage to tell others that I'm from Shanghai or I'm a new Shanghainese, 新上海人. Cultivated in a multicultural environment, I'm even more confused about my identity. My Chinese is not as good as the ones who follow the traditional educational system. But my English is also not as good as a native speaker in the United States. Behind the curtains is fear. The fear of others speaking Shanghainese while I don't understand at all. The fear of seeing faces of dissatisfaction when I don't know those historic sites that the grandparents talk about. And most importantly, the fear of not knowing who I am. I always believed that culture built up a person's life. I don't want to be too assertive, but culture is the foundation of our lives. Our dressing, our posture, our thinking, our ways of delivery, and many more. Our perception of the world and righteousness comes from what we learned in school and from family. But if I don't even know what culture is influencing me, how can I dive deeper into examining myself? Although I enjoy singing and listening to popular songs on Billboard charts or hit lists, I often feel sad about our traditional music. I play piano and also 古筝, which is a traditional Chinese instrument that is often referred as the Eastern piano. While piano gives the perfect pitch, 古筝 grants the freedom of off pitch. Notes can exist between do and re. Even there's percussion. We should learn about Western history and culture, like learning the keys on piano. Meanwhile, absorbing nutrients from our own culture and demonstrating them in various forms, like playing 古筝. That was the moment when I knew that I need to do something. I need to walk around in this beautiful city. I need to read more books about it. I need to talk with the natives before I travel to other countries to prepare my learning for the near future. Why? Because this is my country, my history, and my culture. That's why I really like the quote from Sun Tzu's The Art of War. 知己知彼，百战不殆. Only when knowing yourself and the enemy, you are invincible. Only when I'm confident about my culture, do I have the confidence to be myself while respecting others. Thus, with a group of friends, Thomas, Sydney, Kelly, and Jared, we started researching about traditional Shanghainese culture. We came across a really interesting branch called Hai Pai culture, which is a blend of traditional Wuyue culture in Shanghai and Western industrial civilization that started around the 1930s. This marked the beginning of Shanghai's prosperity. You might wonder, why do we eat butterflies? Because as the Europeans opened more treaty ports, they introduced these delicate desserts. This is a symbol of Hai Pai cuisine. You might also wonder, why does qipao transform from this to that? The change marked the liberation of women who had more freedom to dress in these close-fitting clothing to show their elegant figures. I can't imagine what I will be wearing if the change did not happen then. A robe, perhaps. Wandering around the city, you might also ask, why are there so many Art Deco styles of architecture in Shanghai? These are the relics of the French and British concessions. Regardless of the century of humiliation, we saw pictures of neon lights and commercials in almost every building. We listened to famous Chinese celebrities singing in English perfectly, like Ge Lan. We also read numerous famous quotes like, "I'm a young man, not a freak or a fool. I should fight for happiness for myself," from Ba Jing. Traditional culture might seem meaningless and distant, but it can create a sense of unity and belonging among the people. 无用之用，方为大用. The unused can be of great use. What once seemed to be a heap of loose sand is now coherent together as one. What cannot be explained before is now converged by this continual river of history. But why does nobody care about it anymore? None of my friends know about it, and my family barely does too. Only a century, and we are now abandoning them, piling them up on tall shelves of books and letting the dust to settle atop. As I delve deeper into the subject, the more I'm fascinated. The humorous burlesques, the woolen tapestry, longdang, and many more. The thirst for knowledge arose in our hearts, and we were determined to promote the culture as much as we could. Through research, our team found that most teenagers are not willing to learn about Haipai culture because of the old-fashioned promotion methods, such as books. Although books are extremely useful at compiling comprehensive knowledge, most people are used to consuming information in fragmented time now. Therefore, new media's short, flexible, and interactive features would allow traditional culture to connect closer with modern society. However, we couldn't find anything that satisfies these conditions while relevant to Haipai culture. An idea went across our minds. If there isn't one out there, why not create one ourselves? Why not us, a group of 15, 16, 17 years old who still like to make weird baby sounds? Yes, we do. If we can dream it, we can do it. Therefore, we decided to design a Haipai culture role-playing and puzzle-solving game. None of us had any experience in game development, and we know that it is a challenge. Starbucks and Sam's became our best meeting locations. WeChat group and shared documents turned out to have the highest usage frequencies. Unbelievably, we finished writing a story of over 10,000 words, designing 12 main characters and more, drawing the interiors and exteriors of the buildings, and putting them all together through coding within 1 month. And we did not stop there. Right after the winter break, we organized presentations to all students in middle and high school in the international division. Before presenting, we were worried that students might find the game incomparable with the well-polished ones online, or not to be prompted by to learn about Haipai culture. Well, data proved us wrong. One student commented, "Fun puzzle." Another wrote, "It is necessary to inherit Haipai culture." One other said, "This game makes me realize that I have been living in Shanghai but haven't learned its culture well." We're so glad to see these comments, to see more people noticing the problem and believing that it is important to inherit Haipai culture. Some of the respondents even reached out to us, asking to promote the culture together. After half a year of research and 1 month of implementation, we attained a considerable achievement. Gaining confidence from the positive feedbacks we receive at school, we are not halting. We have uploaded videos of our game, designed a website about our game, and translated the game into English to increase our impact to the world. We have even reached out to well-known people for promotion on platforms like Bilibili and official institutions like Shanghai Intangible Cultural Heritage Organization. We have nearly 200 views for our video. More than 1,000 people read our WeChat article, and more than 2,000 visits to our website for the game. The game will continue to be polished and strive to become an exceptional forerunner of Haipai culture role-playing game. As these numbers grow, more people will learn about Haipai culture, marking changes from knowing nothing to something, thus preserving and passing on the culture's spirit of inclusiveness. From a wider perspective, our game raises the awareness of the loss of valuable cultural heritages and how it is important to preserve them in a modern fashion. Although we were only 5 people, only 15, 16, 17 years old, and only had time to work on our project after we finished our schoolwork, we did something to save our culture, to inspire the application of innovative technology on cultural preservation, and to spark interest among young people about Haipai culture. Thank you for the teachers and students who have helped us along the way, and we're so glad and grateful to have met the beautiful Haipai culture, allowing us to understand what is respect and inclusiveness. 各美其美，美人之美，美美与共，天下大同。Let me introduce myself again. I'm Sophia, and I'm from Shanghai. Thank you.